Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? Very special day today, the first day since the announcement, stamp duty. Everybody's talking about it. What does it mean? We're here to put a bit of meat on the bones, show you what it all means for you. Hope you're having a good day today. My name's Ken Hume. I run James Alexander Estate Agents here in Southwest London. Today, overcast, looks like it's about to rain, which is a bit of a shame. Got a few appointments today. But you know what we say when we're showing people around and it's a little bit overcast like this or it's raining? Well, if you love it in the rain, guess what? You're going to absolutely adore it in the sunshine. Now, onto these stamp duty changes. How will they affect you? Well, it depends who you are, but the news is virtually all good if you're considering moving up until March 2021. The first thing we'll talk about is first-time buyers. Now, first-time buyers were already exempt under 300,000, so the difference for them is not quite so substantial, but it's still a lot of money if you're fortunate enough as a first-time buyer to be purchasing at 500,000, which, believe it or not, here in London, is not as unusual as you might expect. Now, a first-time buyer at 500,000 would save £10,000, 10 grand. It's a lot of money, isn't it? So, and by the way, I'll come on to if you've exchanged not completed in a moment, but also a buy-to-let investor would also be saving £15,000, so 5,000 more than a first-time buyer. So if you're thinking of making that investment for your pension, this could well bring forward your decision. We certainly hope it does. We think it's a great time for a buy-to-let investor to get into the market right now because the rates have been punitive for so long. We really do feel like this will release that kind of investor for the first time in many years. Now, if you're a home mover or a downsizer, and you're buying at 500,000, i.e. not a first-time buyer, then the effect is more profound because you'll get the full benefit. And that means that 500,000 purchase, you will save £15,000, £15,000. Now, good news also, if you've exchanged just recently and you haven't yet completed, you will also get the benefit of this reduction. So if you're just wondering, oh gosh, I've exchanged, what does that mean? Don't worry. Rishi's got you covered. It does mean that you will actually get that benefit. Now, no doubt there'll be those that have just completed that are saying, oh gosh, I wish I've just left it. But of course, these things are top secret. Although it was leaked well ahead of time, as you know, we've spoken about this before. I think they leak these things on purpose to get a handle on whether or not they sit well during the pandemic, whether it's seen as heartless, cruel, or actually the opposite. And I think it's been received very well. And I think our big fear here and across the industry was that they might actually say, yes, we're doing this, but not until September. And that would have been disastrous because people would then hold off any purchases until September this year. But as it stands, it's good news all round and will be a great fillip to the market. So what are the connotations? Well, we think a lot more people will bring forward their purchase decisions and their sale decisions. I think it will bring more vendors into the market, which is what the market desperately lacks right now. There are buyers out there. You know, the thing about London is there's nearly always more buyers than sellers. So we're always looking for new stock, and this should level the playing field a little, because actually, if you're thinking of downsizing, retiring, that £15,000 will mean probably more to you, you know, relative to the income that you get from a pension or otherwise, much more significant sum. So I do see that as being a real catalyst to get those that weren't considering marketing now to think, hey, actually, if I do it now, it could be really good for me and my family. So that's good news. I mean, I think it's good news all around, really. I feel really good about it. You know, obviously, we're still in the middle of a pandemic and it's really sad that people have lost their lives. But I think in the end, you know, what Rishi said yesterday was that what will define us is not the pandemic, but how we react to it. And I think their reaction so far has been good. But as I said yesterday, it's kind of easy to be seen as the savior when all you're doing is giving away money. And I'm sure we won't like Rishi quite so much when he's deducting it in taxes from us in years to come while we pay for this thing. Another thought is just regarding what happens in March next year. Now, no doubt there'll be a scramble to get the last sales of next year out of the way between January and March. And those that don't go, there will be many angry clients, and it will get that way in my experience. And I say my experience because we had a similar thing back in the 80s. We had what we called the Miras deadline, where the government removed tax relief for couples, and it meant a significant saving if you could get in before August of 88, I think it was. And what happened was that the market actually went crazy towards the end of the deadline. It literally jumped up and we couldn't believe it. Prices were just flying. People were coming into our office And I'll never forget, we're literally lining up, and there were so many people in the office. We ran out of chairs. People were sitting on the floor and were queuing outside just to get to view whatever properties were left on the market. That's how crazy it got. And the problem with that is it creates a bubble effect. So contrary to popular belief, not all estate agents, me included, want to see the market just go crazy. We want a stable, solid and secure market for now and the future, not bubble pop and then here we go again. That's not healthy for anyone. And that's my only concern, is that by just removing this flatly in March, we might actually find that we have a bubble effect there, especially towards the end of that deadline. And I hope not. But in the meantime, I think this is great news for the market. We can expect to see prices consolidating and even going higher in many cases. So if you're thinking of buying, it's a good time to get involved now. If you've seen property and you're thinking of offering, probably a very good time to make that offer now as well. So in terms of the market generally, I think that it's looking good for this year. Do get in touch with us, and we'd be happy to help you if you want to kick it around and you're just not sure whether the timing's right for you right now. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because the pandemic is something that does restrict us in terms of movement. Should we move? Should we not? Always hard to know what's right and what's wrong. My advice is always the same. Don't do it just because of this, but if you're thinking of doing it, then it might bring forward that decision for you and might just make you think, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. I was going to do it in a year or two. Let's do it now instead. And I think that would be the smart move. So that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. And not for this week, for today, really. I'll be back with Ken at 10 tomorrow at 10 as usual. And if you have any questions or you just want to chat about moving, just give us a call and we'll have a chat. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you same time tomorrow.